Yes.
You were there with friends and family, is that correct?
Yes.
You weren't specifically there with either Mr. O'Keefe or the defendant, correct?
No, I was not.
And same with respect to the waterfall on January 28th, you were there with friends and family, is that correct?
Yes.
No, the jury's in the courtroom.
Specifically there with Mr. O'Keefe or the defendant, correct?
No, they came unrelated to anything I was doing.
Did Lally get a haircut?
You've shown some video from the waterfall on January 28th, which you were speaking at a sort of section of the table, correct?
Yes.
And was the defendant the only person in that section of the table?
No.
There were other people around her, behind her, is that correct?
Yes, it looked like there were other people at the table as well as situated right behind where she was sitting.
And those other people around her, behind her, those are people that you knew far better on January 28th than the defendant?
Yes, those are my relatives and friends, and that's why I was at that location.
You guys are so mean. God.
You were asked some questions about going over to Ms. McCabe's house later on in the afternoon, the 29th, correct?
Yes.
Why did you go over there?
I went to Jen's house because she's my sister-in-law. She was going through an awful time that morning, as we all were. And I wanted to be there to comfort her if she needed anything. Because we're so close, I didn't want her to feel like this was too much for her to handle.
Again, how long have you known Ms. McCabe?
I've known Jen since she was probably 6 or 7 years old. She's like a sister to me.
Now,
Like a sister, you say?
on the January 28th and January
Like a sister that you butt dial with?
Did you at any point in time go into the basement area of your home?
No,
Did Brian Higgins at any time go into the basement area of your home?
not that I know of.
Do you see anyone go into the basement area of your home during the time that you were there after coming home from work?
No.
Now, you were asked some questions about your dog, Chloe, in that she wasn't great with strangers. What exactly did you mean by that?
All I meant was that she wasn't overly affectionate with strangers.
Overly affectionate.
She's a heavy dog. Not everybody
My
likes
microphone's
dogs.
really loud.
So if there's going to be people at the house that don't know the dog, they might not particularly want her around them.
Is this better?
Were
Hopefully
you
it's
more
better.
concerned about the people in the house that didn't know Chloe, or were you more concerned about the
Not overly affectionate.
The people in the house
Uh-huh.
never has the dog, to my knowledge, been aggressive to anybody except for the time that there was a fight between two dogs.
You were shown in Exhibit 66
Mhm.
that was sort of a drawing of your house. You recall that?
Yes.
Had you ever seen that prior to today?
No.
And do you recall specifically within the drawing or the artist rendering of your house, there were certain lights on around the garage and the front door?
I did notice that, yes.
And do you recall whether or not those lights were on?
The lights are on, but no one's home.
I don't recall, but oftentimes those lights are off, and sometimes the bulbs don't even work in them.
And when Ms. McCabe comes into your bedroom sometime after 6 a.m. what do you know?
Yes.
That was following a day in which you woke up in New York City and went to a funeral, is that correct?
Yes, I went to a funeral that morning in New York.
And that was for a fallen police officer from the New York City Police Department?
Yes, a police officer in New York that had been murdered while on duty, and that was his funeral.
And did you know that police officer whose funeral you attended? Objection.
The objection sustained. Next question.
Now, with reference to, you then drive all the way home from New York to Massachusetts, correct?
Yes.
And you went out to a couple of different places, had a couple of drinks, correct?
Yes.
And then went back.
Because you have to keep up the charade, Wendy. You can't just give up in the middle of it.
Yes, after 2.
You have to keep up
And
the
so about how long
facade
did
and
you
charade.
sleep, from the time that you dozed off to the time that Mr. Cave comes into your bedroom that morning?
Only a few hours, probably 3-4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours.
Now, in relation to waking up that morning, you testified that you did not go outside, correct?
Yes.
And why not?
Initially, when I woke up and I was told what was going on out front, I looked out my window and I saw some emergency vehicles. I did not see John at that time. I came downstairs with my wife, and she asked where was John, and Jen said that he was.
Sustained.
What?
Next question?
What?
What
Well-
was your understanding of where Mr. O'Keefe was when he came downstairs?
Ask it differently, Mr. Allen.
When you came down, what was your understanding of medically what was going on outside? Objection.
The objection sustained.
Was there any reason for you to go outside of your house?
No, there was not. At that time, there was no victim out in front of my house. So there was no first aid for me to give. There was nothing I could do.
We're asking questions about the sort of bulkhead in the back of your house, correct?
Yes.
Where is that bulkhead in relation to bay window? That's fine.
So the bulkhead door is directly under the bay windows in the kitchen. The bulkhead door opens up almost directly into the windows, obviously without hitting them, but it opens up into the front of the bay windows.
What you saw as far as that video that was shown to you, that's not what the bulkhead looked like, that's not what the door looked like at that time on January 29, 2022.
No, those are not the doors we had.
And as far as the bulkhead was concerned, when that bulkhead was opened around that time, what any kind of noise was that bulkhead?
What if any?
A loud creaking, old rusty metal sound when you opened it.
Is that something that if it was open and you were in the kitchen area, you could hear?
Yes.
Unless you were part of it and you are the one who opened it.
What if any security or what if was it open?
What if any lapses in memory do you have?
So the bulkhead door was shut.
Attorney's office or anything in relation to security, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, with respect to that, as far as the information, there are certain types of information, are you familiar with being sort of backed up by the cloud?
Yes.
Would that include calls?
It could.
Could that also include text?
Yes.
Could that include photos?
Yes.
Could that include contacts?
Yes.
And the information that you were shown as far as certain call
No,
logs,
sir.
as far as you know, was that generated after that September 2022?
I noticed that too.
Yes.
Now, with respect to the preservation, that was in regard to a motion the council had filed for your physical phone, correct?
Yes.
Are you also aware of a judge's order denying that repeatedly as far as them gaining access to your physical phone?
Objection? Thank you.
I'll allow it.
What?
Yes. It was
Really?
denied on multiple occasions.
I'll strike the multiple occasions.
Thank you. For the love of... Come on.
You were asked some questions about boxing, correct?
Yes.
And the boxing that you did, that was in relation to a group associated with the boxing department, is that correct?
Yes.
And when was the last time that you were involved in any kind of actual boxing match?
close to 20 years ago.
Who cares?
Now, with
You have
respect
experience.
to, some of the
Irrelevant.
training that you were talking about with respect to the Boston Police,
Starry Night, welcome.
you did some training as far as defensive
From the
tactics,
Twitch.
Yes.
and is
from
that
the
something
Twitchverse.
that is standard that is sort of given and administered to every Boston police officer?
Yeah. So within the academy, you go to the defensive tactics training.
And that would include John O'Keefe, correct?
Yes.
Now, as far as your house, where you used to live, 34 Fairview Road, what, if anything, did you observe or notice with reference to cell phone reception in that area?
So oftentimes, using the phone within my house, it seemed like it was and it's a slang term, the dead zone for the phone. The reception wasn't great.
And is that something that occurred over the time that you lived there?
Yes.
Now, with reference to the phone, and prior to the intimate moment that you shared with your wife sometime after the wedding, do you recall whether or not the phone screen was locked at that time? Were you checking that at that particular time?
I don't recall the exact timing, but I know it was opened sometimes and then it was closed, obviously, at some point, but I don't know the exact timing.
So the phone may not have been locked at the time that you began that situation.
It may not have been.
With reference to the call log, phone records that you were shown, best of your memory, is that the entirety of the phone calls that you made around that time?
No, it looks like it's selective people and numbers.
And with respect
Like your selective memory?
conversations, if you recall, what, if anything, in general terms, you were discussing with either those people in the logs or other people in general?
In general, I'm sure there was some discussion about the awful thing that had taken place, and there may have been other calls unrelated as well.
Uh-huh. Unrelated calls,
Yes.
you say?
Mr. Albert, on the early morning of January 29th, 2022, did John O'Keefe ever come into your house that night?
John never came into my house that night. He would have been welcomed, and the defendant would have been welcomed with open arms had they come in, and I wish they had. I really do.
Why does it, why?
Were you even aware that John O'Keefe or the defendant were anywhere in the area of your house?
Why welcome with open arms?
I was not.
I don't understand
Okay.
his explanation behind it. They would have been welcomed with open arms.
Reception not being good in your house. When did you and Mr. Wiley talk about the cell phone reception issue?
The what?
Cell phone reception issue in your house.
It came up during one of the preps.
Which prep?
I don't remember which prep. Probably the last one.
Unless you only had one prep, Mr. Wiley.
Well, we had the prep before the grand jury, and then
Oh
I had the
my
prep for this
God.
trial.
Okay, so
That's two.
you brought up the fact that you had that cell phone reception in that preparation.
The conversation came up, yes.
Mr. Wiley taking notes.
I don't recall if he was taking notes.
Was this recorded?
I don't believe so.
And where did you say this conversation took place?
So the prep was at the district attorney's office, which is in Canton.
This morning when I asked you, you said you couldn't quite remember where it took place.
You're right, I couldn't remember this morning.
And I asked you, there's the DA's office, now your memory is refreshed.
Yes,
What refreshed your memory between this morning and now?
I was just thinking about it in my head and reminded myself that it was the DA's office. You caught me off guard when you had asked me. I didn't have it at the top of mind.
Did you talk to Mr. Lally at the lunch hour?
Briefly,
Did you bring up the fact that you had cell reception in your house at the lunch hour?
just now, no.
What did you talk about at the lunch hour?
Just what was how much time I was going to have left on the stand. That was really about it.
So you and Mr. Lally talked about the fact that you've been on cross-examination for 2.5 hours. The conversation consisted of, you probably got another 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think he was going to lunch or doing something, so
You didn't talk about the substance of your testimony.
no.
You didn't tell you what questions he was going to ask you on redirect.
Maybe he mentioned one thing he may ask me, but that was it. Just he was
Are you
going to ask
kidding?
about what happened
He
at
just
the
admitted
house
to being coached.
in the morning. That's some of the questions on redirect. That's all.
Meaning he was going to ask you the question about whether or not John came in the house?
No, not necessarily. Just
Ask you about whether or not he had that cell reception in the house?
no. He was going to ask about the morning of the incident, about coming downstairs and why I didn't go outside.
Did he tell you what he thought would be helpful for the Commonwealth?
Oh my
Nope.
God.
Did he tell you how he thought you should answer that question?
No.
Cut it out,
He asked
Kathy.
you about a situation concerning the motion to preserve, correct?
No.
I'm sorry. He asked you on redirect about the motion.
Oh
to
yes,
preserve.
yes,
And he mentioned that there was a motion that had been denied for us to get, for the defense to get access to your physical phone, correct?
yes,
You're aware that that motion was denied in October of 2022, correct?
yes,
You already got rid of your phone a month earlier, hadn't you?
yes.
And the preservation order from the judge is still in place when you got rid of that phone. wasn't it?
No, I believe the phone was upgraded prior to the preservation order.
Oh, right.
I believe.
Yes.
You are all set, sir.
Okay,
You are
thank you,
all
Jerry.
set. Thank you, jury.
Your next witness, Mr. Lally.
Yes, Your Honor, we'll call Brian Albert Jr. to the stand.
Okay.
Wow, what a shit show.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, the papers that were left up there with the last witness, I don't think are marked as anything. I just
Okay.
put them in counsel.
I am so livid.
You solemnly swear the evidence of the court and jury in the case now the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. I do. Thank you.
Hey, whenever you're ready, Mr. Lally.
He seems jumpy. Dude, this is direct. Why are you breathing so heavily? Why are you so stressed? He does look like Farva, doesn't he? Sorry.
Your last name.
My name is Brian Albert Jr., and it's Albert.
And where do you live, sir?
I live currently in Norwood, MA.
And how long have you lived there?
I believe since I think it's about a year, since last May.
And prior to moving to Norwood, where did you live before?
I lived in Canton,
And where specifically in Canada?
34 Fairview Road.
And how long was it, sir, that you lived at 34 years?
I'm going to guess, but I'm going to say maybe about 10 years.
And how old are you now?
I'm 25.
And with respect to both where you live in Norwood and where you live in Canton,
Mhm.
with anyone you live with?
Well, when I lived in Canton, I lived at one point with my 4 siblings, but then some of them moved out. And then in Norwood now, it's basically just me and my parents, and 2 of my siblings are at school. So they come home in the summer and stuff.
And by your parents, your father's name is Brian Albert as well, is that correct?
Yes.
And your mother's name is Nicole.
Yes.
Now, you work, sir?
Yeah, I do. I work in IT.
And how long have you been doing that?
That job will be a year, maybe a year in August, I believe.
Sir, if I could get your attention to the time frame of January 28, 2022 to January 29, 2022. Do you recall that time frame?
Yes, I do.
And the 28th and the 29th, you know roughly what day of the week that was?
Maybe Friday and a Saturday, I believe.
And with respect to 28th or 29th, what if any significance those dates have?
Yeah, so the 29th is my birthday. The 28th was the day before my birthday, obviously. So I had a few friends over for my birthday.
And do you recall how old you were turning on the 29th, 2022?
That was what, 2 years ago? So it would be 23, I think. Yeah, 23.
Wow, why are you so happy, bro?
Leading up to that weekend, what if any plans did you have with respect to sort of the night before and the night of?
Yeah. So I was kind of up in the air. I didn't know if I wanted to go out. I'm kind of a homebody person. I like to stay at home. So I was kind of up in the air. So my plan was to have some of my friends over to my house. We would eat, have a couple of drinks, and then I would decide then if I wanted to go out locally in Canton or not. So that was my plan. And then a few days before, that's when we found out that the snowstorm was actually going to happen, because you know how I always say it's going to snow, and it never does. So then that kind of threw a wrench in it, but I was kind of like, well, we'll see what happens. And so we went along with the plan.
And that particular evening,
He is so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's,
I don't understand. Why is he so nervous?
house, is that correct?
Yes.
And about what time was it that the friends first started eating?
I would say my friends first arrived probably around 7:30 p.m.
And who were the first of your friends at the house?
The first 2 were Sarah and Julie
And just for the record, Sarah's last name is what?
Levinson,
And Julie's last name?
Nagel.
And with respect to them coming over to your house, was there anybody else from your household, is it family, or anybody else that was present when Sarah and Julie stopped by?
I believe when they first got there, my mom was still at the house. She hadn't left yet to go out where she was going.
You know where she was going at?
I believe she was going to the Waterfall Bar and Grill.
You know who, if anyone, she was going there with?
Yes, she got picked up by my Aunt Julie.
Now, it's Levinson and it's Nagel, how long have you known?
I've known them, I would say, since high school. I think I was a sophomore and they're a year older than me. They were a junior, so probably a good 7, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. Okay,
And when they came over your house, what was it that you did?
well, we were just hanging out. I had a few more friends who were on their way, so they came after. Probably around 8 o'clock, I would say, 8:15. They were there, and we were just all hanging out, listening to music. We ate some food. I think we played some card games. Just normal hangout stuff.
And over the course of this evening, just yourself and your guests, you also have some alcohol.
No, yeah, people were drinking. Yeah,
Recall, generally speaking, what people are drinking.
mostly like seltzers, like White Claws or Trulies and stuff like that.
Now, you mentioned that some other friends came about a half hour or so after Julie and Sarah arrived. Is that correct?
Yes.
And who were they?
They are. Do you want their full names or? Okay. They are Catherine Judy, trying to think. Emily Fabiano, Courtney Alba, and I think that's it that I can recall as I sit here.
And with respect to those other friends, how did you know them? How long?
I knew everyone from school. We all went to high school together. So the other ones were in my grade. So we were closer friends because they were in my grade. So I've known them for a long time.
And just to be clear, when you say from school, you're talking about high school?
High school, yes.
You went to high school, is that right?
Yes, I did.
Now, with respect to having a friend over your house, where
You can see a good amount of it, yeah.
like a pile of cards, like out in front of your house at any point?
No, there wasn't.
Now,
He is my first cousin. He's my dad's brother's son.
and his father would be Chris Browder, is that correct?
Yes.
He's gonna change colors.
Is Colin younger than me? Yes, he is.
How old was Colin at this time?
I don't exactly recall how he knew by.
He's so scared to answer. He's like, what did they tell me to say? Am I saying this correctly? I think I'm. They love that phrase too. Just hanging out. We're just hanging out. That's code word for murdering people, I guess. We're just hanging out.
Not to my knowledge. I mean, there's a bathroom, but it's just off the kitchen. So I assume the bathroom. But that's really it. We didn't go anywhere else than that first floor area.
So mainly in the first floor, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you see anybody at any time go downstairs?
No.
Did you see anybody at any time go upstairs?
Not to my knowledge. No.
You mentioned that at some points, your parents and some people that were at the waterfall came to your house, is that right?
Yes. So first, a group of my friends had left my house, and I think that was probably around. They were only there for a few minutes while Colin was there, so I would say probably around 11:10. A few select people left the house to go home. So at that point, it was just me, Colin, Julie Nagel, and Sarah Levinson at the house.
Rehearsed testimony.
Until my parents arrived.
Select people
Courtney, Catherine, and Emily would have
at 11:10.
Yeah, Colin arrived.
Yes.
How do you know this for a fact?
When your parents came home, recall
I would say that would be right around midnight. I would say maybe 12:05, 12:10ish in that area.
How do you know that?
Colin for a second. You know how Colin
Y'all should be in jail for lying.
Like how he was dropped, like if he was dropped off.
Yeah, yes. Do you know whether or not he drove there, was dropped off there, the other?
I know he didn't drive there, but I would assume he got dropped off. He didn't say how he got there though.
Right, so we'll go straight. You don't know how we got there.
Okay, yeah.
And as far as the order of people that arrived back at your home, who were the first people to arrive back at your home from Water?
The first people to arrive were my mom, my dad, my sister Caitlin, and my dad's friend Brian Higgins.
Prior to that evening of January 28th, had you met people?
I don't recall ever meeting him. I could have met him in passing, but I don't ever formally remember meeting him, no.
Do you recall ever seeing him at your house at Fairview Road prior to that?
I don't think he'd ever been there that I have saw, no.
And as far as Colin was concerned, when your parents and your sister and Mr. Higgins arrived, when, in relation to that, when
Colin was actually getting up and leaving.
Sorry,
as they were
Lally's
coming
putting me to
the house.
sleep, folks. I'm just excited for Cross.
do you know how Colin left your house or?
This dude is going to get a new butthole.
Yeah, he was sitting at the table and I was actually sitting right next to him and he stood up and said, "I'm leaving, Allie's picking me up." And so I knew
think
who Allie was.
Little
She's
is
my
going
cousin.
to be
And what is Allie's last name?
McCabe.
And she's your cousin as well, is that correct?
Yes.
Is she Colin Albert's cousin?
She's not Colin's cousin. No, she's my cousin on my mom's side.
And so Colin would be your cousin on your father's side?
Yes.
Ms. Little is gonna he's gonna have a field day with this cat.
Father, your mother, your sister, and Mr. Higgins arrived at home. Where did they congregate in home?
In the same area that we were, in the dining room, in the kitchen area.
You
My
guys
mom
heard of
went
the?
home and I know she went right to cleaning because she likes to clean. So she was in the kitchen picking up.
You guys have heard of the fourth
and-
hole?
Yeah, we were all just in that one area.
And following their
Ryan Albert Jr. is about to find out what the fourth hole really is about.
And then I would say maybe 10 minutes later,
Hey,
my auntie
night
JJ,
of
well,
me.
her name is
Thank you
Auntie
so much
Jen,
for
but
the
I call her
gifted.
JJ, and Uncle Matt.
Shout out if you
arrived
got a
at the
gifted
house.
membership from
your auntie Jane,
Night of Need.
Matt, what is their last name?
McCabe.
And
Oh,
that-
McCabe, yeah.
Their arrival was that before or after Colin had.
She's been cleaning
Colin
the
had
blood,
already left at that
probably.
point, yes.
Right, Mika?
So the alley that Colin was picked up by, what if any relationship does she have to your auntie JJ? You know?
That's their daughter.
Now,
He's nervous.
throughout the course of the evening, well, let me ask you this.
Vanessa
As far
Grag
as-
got one. What's up, what's up?
That the last person didn't live at your house on Fairview Road. When was it that the last person?
I wouldn't know I couldn't tell you the time. Well, the last people to leave were Auntie JJ, Uncle Matt, Sarah, and Julie. I don't know exactly what time that would be. I can't even guess. I don't know.
And you mentioned your sister, Caitlin's.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. I was just thinking of her as my sister, like with sibling. So she didn't live in the house, so she was the last person to leave.
And prior to her leaving is when your auntie JJ and Uncle Matt.
Yes. Yeah.
So with respect to after your Aunt JJ and your Uncle Matt and Kate arrived at the house, or if anyone else came by the house that you were in.
No one.
Poor crap.
As far as anybody
You're a
else
liar
following
just like your
actually
dad is.
No one else came into the house after them. No.
Poor crap. You're a liar.
Aware, were you made aware of someone out in front?
I saw someone outside of the house. Yes, a car.
And what was it that sort of drew your attention to the front area?
Yeah, so at some point, my friend Julie stood up and said, "Oh, my brother's outside." Her brother was there to pick her up. And someone made a comment saying, "Oh, no."
No,
Objection.
you have to visit something.
Sorry, hearsay.
She went outside to talk to her brother. And so I looked out the window at that point. And she was outside talking to her brother, so his truck was there. And I saw another car there as well.
And with respect to your friend Julie Nagel, her brother, what is his name?
His name's Ryan Nagel.
And if you recall the time that Julie gets up and goes outside to talk to her brother, where were you with him?
I was still sitting at the dining room table.
And with regards to that area,
How could you look out the window if you was sitting at the
There's two
dining
windows
room
there.
table? Ain't
So I just
that
turned around
weird?
and looked through the blinds.
and when you look through the line, what is it that you saw out in front of your house?
Yeah, so I saw a truck, which was Julie Nagel's brother's truck, I believe, and that was a little ways, almost like in front of the driveway of the house, and then a little ways in front of it, there was another car that I hadn't recognized before. It was a dark SUV-ish, and that's all I knew about it and could see about it.
Now, similar to yourself, with anyone else from sort of a group of people either in the kitchen or in the house, did you observe near a window or a door that was beyond that?
I believe my uncle Matt McCabe noticed the car outside as well.
And with respect to the dark SUV that you didn't recognize and which you thought was Julie Nagel's brother Ryan's truck, was there anything in between the truck and the dark SUV that you saw outside?
Not to my knowledge, I didn't see anything, no.
And as far as the weather, when you looked outside, what if anything did you know about the weather?
It was definitely snowing. I wouldn't know how many inches, but I would say an inch or two of snow at that point.
Oh, poor lady. What's Wildcat doing? Getting like a big one?
Yeah, they were both facing, going up Fairview towards Cedar Crest. So whatever this is, I don't know.
Yeah, good girl. Good mama.
As far as what was facing towards your house, was that the driver's side or the passenger
Okay.
side?
Oh.
Thank you.
That would have been the passenger side.
And that's with respect to both vehicles, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, at any point in time during the time that these vehicles were out in front of your house, do you recall hearing anything or any sort of noises coming from the front of your house to your attention?
No, I didn't hear anything, no.
No, but like they don't have ears. None of them have ears.
How many times did you look at that?
I believe I looked at that one time, and then I think I looked at one more time after that.
And as far as your friend Julie,
Mhm.
if you know about how long was she out in front of your house at that time?
I would say not more than 5 minutes, more likely about 3 or 4 minutes she was outside.
And when did you see her outside in relation to the truck as well?
Yeah, I saw her at the passenger door of the truck.
Now, that vehicle that you observed that you didn't recognize, the darker black SUV, was that vehicle in one place or more than one place during the time that you looked out the window?
Yeah, so the first time I looked, I would say it was closer towards the mailbox, maybe a little bit in front of the mailbox. And then the second time, the last time I looked out the window, it had moved further down, closer to, I'll say, the flagpole. So closer that way, it went down that way, towards the flagpole.
So closer to
Huh?
the narrative
I
of
like
your yard,
that.
the flagpole, is that right?
Yes.
Love you.
Now, as far as when it moved, as far as the weather and the snow is concerned, did you see anything in
I love you.
the roadway behind the SUV as it once it had moved?
You get lovable now. Yes, you are. You get lovable.
Yeah, I had noticed just some tracks in the snow, indicating that the car had moved up.
Now, your friend Julie, did she take that ride home with her brother Ryan at that time?
No, she came back in the house.
And as far as
You like it, Margaret?
Sarah that was still at the house on the waterfall home, you know how they happened to go home on that particular evening?
Yes, my
Your
aunt,
baby.
JJ McCabe and Matt McCabe drove them
Yeah,
home.
that's your baby. Mikey's your
Do you have any idea
baby.
about what time that was?
Yeah. Mikey, your
Not really.
baby.
I'd be guessing. I would say maybe one something, maybe.
Now, with respect to your sister, Caitlin, who you indicated was the last person to leave the home that evening, is that correct?
Yes.
And were you awake or downstairs?
I don't know if I was downstairs when she actually left, but I was down there for a minute when she was the last one present at the house with my mom.
And do you know how she was leaving the house that night or how she was getting home?
Yeah, I believe her boyfriend was picking her up.
What's her boyfriend?
Tristan Morris.
Was your grandma? Was that Grandma Margaret? Queen Margaret.
Following morning, some point you go to bed, so you know about what time it was that you went to bed?
I would say, I don't know, late 1, early 2 o'clock in the morning.
And your bedroom is in the second floor of the house?
Yes, it is.
And with respect How many bedrooms are on the top floor?
Four, I believe.
And with respect to your bedroom, where was that in relation to the layout?
My bedroom would have been the middle back of the house. So I had 2 windows, but they were in the backyard of the house. So the middle with the back side.
There were 2 windows that from your bedroom face the backyard area.
Yes.
Now, at any point in time after you went up to your room, same question as before, were there any noises or anything that drew your attention outside of the home at any point prior to waking?
No, I didn't hear anything.
And if you know about what time was it that you woke up later on that morning?
I can't recall the exact time. I'd say maybe, I know previous testimony I may have said earlier, but I don't believe it was that early. I would say 7:30, 8 a.m.
What was it that woke you up then?
My dad had knocked on my door.
And without anything specifically that you talked about, following that conversation, where did you go?
I just threw on some clothes and I went downstairs into the main first floor of the house.
You came downstairs into the main first floor area of the house. Who, if anyone, did you see?
Yeah, so when I went down there, it was my mom, my dad, my auntie Jen, and my uncle Matt.
And about how long were you down in that area?
I would say the first time I went down there, I would say I was down there for maybe 15 minutes or so.
You said the first time you went down, were there subsequent times after that?
Well, yes, I went back up into my room after I was down there the first time, and then I came back downstairs. And at that point, there was no one there besides me and my parents.
And that second or subsequent time that you came downstairs, I wanted to know about how long it was after the first time.
I would say maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe.
Now, with respect to your birthday, as far as what, if any, sort of ritual or thing you have with regards to your aunt?
Oh yes, so my aunt likes to get me donuts. It started.
Here we go with
I
the
don't
donuts
know,
again.
Probably when I was like in middle school. Because I used to really like donuts. So every birthday she would give me 6 donuts in a box and a card. And that was just our ritual. She would bring it over.
I'll show you a
every
box.
time it was my birthday.
You won't like it though.
Yeah, those as far as the donuts and the card and everything at some point on that particular morning.
Yes, I believe that when I went downstairs the first time, the donuts and the card were there already. So I had known that she had come
It's
by
right
and
night.
dropped them off for me.
Did you physically actually see your aunt Julie?
Better tuck away.
No, I didn't see her then.
That's a good one.
Cops and donuts.
Ma'am, go.
Yes.
So, I'm showing you a series of 4 photographs. I just asked you to look at those yourself.
Okay. Okay.
And just generally speaking, do you recognize what's depicted in those photographs?
Yes, this is my old residence.
Home residence at 34 Fairview Road, is that correct?
Yes.
And generally speaking, what's depicted in those photographs is that a fair and accurate portrayal of what the house looked like around that time.
Yes.
May I approach again, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'll want to seek to introduce the minutes and next board. Honor, with the court's permission, I would ask that those three photographs be published in this section.
Okay.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could first have, with 5-9. So what's up on the screen, is that what you have before you? I believe it should be exhibit 71, probably?
Yes, that's the same.
And again, just for the record, you recognize what's up on the
Yes, I do.
Now, before I get into the photograph, there is a one question that I have as far as with respect to the sort of tenor and demeanor of that evening. How would you describe sort of from when your friends were there to the time that the folks came back from the waterfall? How was sort of the mood within that?
Cheerful, fun. Everyone was having a great time.
Any fights and arguing, any tension, anything else that you noted or with regard to that?
No, not at all.
And I believe, sir, there should be a laser pointer on the desk there in front of you with the button on top.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question about it with respect to pictures.
Okay.
Now, with regard to the front area of your house, at 34 Fairview Road, you live, there's basically 2 doors on the front of the house, correct?
Yes.
And if you could just use that laser pointer and direct the jury's attention to where in the photograph you observe each of those.
Okay. So this would be the first door right here, and this is the second door.
And the first door sort of further away from the driveway, is that sort of the front door area at home?
Yes, that's the front door.
And the other door, where does that lead?
The side door leads just right into the family room.
And as far as around this time, January, around this week, fall, where were people sort of coming in and going out of there?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you specifically. I think some people use both doors.
And what we're calling sort of the front door area, that's sort of closer to the ground, even in the living room, is that correct?
Yes.
And so the front door further away from the ground, where does that mean?
That's like a foyer area, and then if you take a right, it leads you to the dining room, kitchen, and then keep going into the family room.
Now, if you don't take a right and go into the kitchen and the dining room, and then sort of in the family room, sort of straight, where does that?
Well, you can't really go straight. You walk in a little ways to the left. There's a set of stairs that go upstairs, and you can go straight a little bit, and then to your left again, there's stairs that go downstairs into the basement.
Now, in addition to you, your mother, your father, around the time of January,
Yeah, we had a dog, Chloe. Yes.
how long at that point have you had?
We had her for a few years. I don't know exactly how many years, but a few years.
Now, on that night, specifically January 28th, 29th, did you do anything as far as letting you go out in the bathroom or anything like that?
So the dog was actually upstairs in my parents' bedroom. She likes to sleep up there and stay up there. So she was upstairs when my friends were downstairs. And at one point, after my dad came home, it was asked if someone let the dog out. And I said, sorry, I forgot, because it was my responsibility, because I was the only one home. So he went upstairs to get the dog, got the dog, brought her downstairs, let her outside.
And so when someone would let Chloe outside around this time, so describe that process as far as the leash or the crowd or how that.
Yeah, so we had a fenced-in backyard, so we just kind of let her through the back door and open the door, and she was able to run around out back.
Whoever let her out, would they still stay in the back for a while?
Yeah, we stay around the kitchen area, yeah.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could have the next photo up on the screen, 593. So the next exhibit would be number 72. Is that the home screen? Is that what you have for you, sir?
Yes.
Now, if you could, with regard to this photograph, you were mentioning something about your flagpole in the area of your front yard, is that correct?
Yeah.
Using that laser pointer, you could direct your attention to that.
Right here.
Now, with respect to this photograph that's up on the screen right now, Ms. Nagel's brother Ryan, where was, if you could direct your attention, where was Father Luther?
He would have been more this way, so the photo doesn't show you all, but he would have been more in front of the driveway over here.
And that first time that you looked out the window, where was darkest?
I believe that was right around the mailbox area, right about right here.
And then again, if you could direct your attention to the second time that you looked out, and then very ahead.
It was more down this way on the side of the road.
Now, if you could, as far as the window that you're talking about in the kitchen area that you were looking out, see those in the photographs as well?
Yes, I do. Those are about right, those two right there.
Thank you.
Yep.
Can you skip it if I could have the last photograph in that set? Can I look up on screen so that you're not looking at the
Yes.
And again, this is another photograph of the front area of your home. Taken around on January 2022, correct?
Yes.
And as far as the flagpole in this particular area, that's obviously the left side of the screen, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, in between the time that you saw that dark SUV that you didn't really recognize, in the area of your mailbox and then further down, see it any other points moving along?
No, I just caught it as it had already moved. By the time I looked out the window, I noticed that it had moved up.
And facing the same direction, is that correct?
Yes.
And passenger side door was facing out.
Yeah.
And as far as the dark SUV was concerned, at any point in time did you look out and not see the dark SUV?
No, I didn't look out the window again.
So the rest of the evening you didn't look out?
No.
Now, in reference to the time expired, between the time that you saw it, the area mailbox, and the time that you saw it over by the flagpole, do you have any idea how long period of time that was?
I would say probably within a couple minutes. It wasn't a long period of time that I looked out the window.
And as far as you know, your friend Julie would have gone out to the pickup truck to talk to her brother Ryan. Was she still outside around the time that you looked out the second?
She could have been. I'm not sure if she was at that point, but she could have been.
And this guy, you can take that. Can I have just one moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
Let me just ask just a couple of questions.
Okay.
With regards to that morning when you woke up,
Mhm.
your father was at your door.
Yes.
As far as from what you could see of this person, what if any injuries or anything did you observe on this person's face?
On my father? Nothing.
Now, at that time, January 28th and January 29th,
You alive, protected, murdered father.
By the name John Oak.
I knew of the name, but I didn't know him personally, no.
And you think you knew of the name or you knew of him? How did you know?
I knew he was friendly with my auntie Jan McCabe, and his niece was friendly with my cousin Jen's daughter.
And as far as your cousins, as far as Miss McCabe's daughters, what if anything what if any sort of relationship did you have with them, specific to them, beyond sort of your other cousins?
Oh yeah. So for a while, I think when I was in college or maybe the end of high school, I would help out because there was 4 girls, so they always had like multiple sports going on and stuff. So I would drive them to and from practices or be there after school if JJ had to be somewhere. So I spent a good amount of time with them and basically babysitting, but more just driving around and stuff like that.
Through them, is that how you came to know Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
And you gave her rides to places as well?
Yeah, occasionally when she would come back to the house after school, I'd drive her to CCD or whatever.
And have you ever met, to your recollection, John O'Keefe or anybody by the name of Karen Reed prior to January 28th?
John O'Keefe, no. I mean, he could have came into the house once when I was there at my aunt JJ's house, and we could have said hi, but I don't remember formally meeting him, and I never met Karen Reed either.
And on that evening, again, January 28th, or the early morning of January 29th, beyond what you've already talked about, specifically John O'Keefe and Karen Reed, either of them at any point in time, come inside your house while you were there?
No, never.
Nothing further.
Yeah, we do. I don't know if I'm gonna be the best speller, but I'll try. Alright. I think that's good. That the first one is correct. You're welcome.
Alright, thank you. Mr. Albert, the first time you ever spoke with anyone from the Massachusetts State Police, the County Police Department, or the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office was on July 6, 2023, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
That's a full 18 months after Mr. O'Keefe's death, correct?
Yes.
Who was present for that?
I spoke with 2 troopers, I believe, and my lawyer.
Here we go, fireworks.
Yes.
And this interview actually took place at your family's defense attorney's office, correct?
No.
Objection, Your Honor.
The objections.
This interview took place at your attorney's office, correct?
Yes.
Your sister Caitlin Albert was also present, correct?
She was there for some time, but she wasn't when I was interviewing. She wasn't in the room with me. No.
And that was also the first time they had spoken with your sister as well about this, correct?
Objection.
And to be clear, the Massachusetts State Police only interviewed you after you were called to testify before a grand jury
Objection.
separate proceeding, correct? I want to direct your attention to your testimony regarding your cousin, Colin Albert. You testified today that Colin Albert called you to come to the house, correct?
I believe so. He did. Yeah.
Do you recall some prior testimony in which you said that you all had exchanged Snapchats about what you were doing that night in the house?
No, I don't believe I said that. I said for him to know that I was at the house, he could have seen a Snapchat that I had sent, but he didn't ask me on Snapchat if he can come over. I said more of that he had could have seen a Snapchat saying that we were at my house. That's how he knew, because I didn't know how he knew that we were there.
You and your cousins frequently communicate on Snapchat, correct?
Occasionally here and there.
You actually have a cousin group chat on Snapchat, don't you?
Yeah, we
Oh,
do.
did y'all catch that? How he changed colors? I told you to watch for that.
There's all my cousins, a lot of us, a good amount of my cousins.
Would that include you,
Yep.
Colin Albert,
Yep.
Allie McCabe?
No, she's not an Albert.
Do you have a group chat in which Allie McCabe is a member?
I believe we have a cousins on my mom's side group chat, yes. But she wouldn't be in that group chat with Colin, no.
And do you still have any of the messages you exchanged with your cousin on January 28th?
I don't know, can you rephrase the question?
Do you have any of those Snapchat messages or other messages you exchanged with your cousin Colin Albert on January 28th?
No, I'm not even sure if there was any messages. Not to my knowledge, I don't know.
Mr. Albert, you testified that Colin arrived around 10:45 or 11 p.m., correct?
Today? I said that? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Who else was at the house when the clock struck sort of midnight as it became your birthday?
When it hit my birthday, it was just Colin, Julie, Nagel, and Sarah Levinson.
Was there any sort of celebration for your birthday when the clock struck midnight?
No.
What were you guys doing?
We were just sitting there. Probably happy birthdays were exchanged, but it was nothing crazy. I'm not a big birthday person like that.
And where in the house were you guys at that point?
In the dining room area.
You testified that your parents and Brian Higgins arrived shortly after midnight with your sister, correct?
Yeah, I believe I said around 12:05, 12:10 in that area.
Describe what happened when they came into the house back.
they all just walked in the door, and at that point, my cousin Colin was standing up to leave. They passed each other, said hi, and that was it.
Mr. Albert, you never actually observed Colin leave in a vehicle from 34th Fairview, correct?
No, I didn't see with my eyes, no.
In fact, you said you only looked out the window 2 times that day, correct?
Yes, that's true.
Approximately what time did your dad go upstairs to get clothes to take her out?
Well, that would have been like as soon as he got home, so around like a little after 12.
So would that have been before or after Colin sort of walked towards the door?
Colin had already left at that point.
Where did your dad go?
He went upstairs into his bedroom where Chloe was there, brought her downstairs and went to the back door and let her out.
When you were asked by Mr. Lally if your father kind of stands by the door and waits for Chloe before he lets her in,
Yeah,
but you testified that he was just generally in the kitchen area, correct?
yeah, the kitchen is by the back door.
But he's not standing by the door waiting for her. She's awfully shocked. She can go out, do her business, and you can open the door.
He's getting redder and redder.
Objection.
Could you say it again, please?
Your father wasn't standing by the door, staring at Chloe the entire time she was outside, correct?
No, I wouldn't. Not the whole time, no.
You testified earlier that Julie Nagel went outside to speak with her brother to indicate that she no longer needed a ride. Do you recall that testimony?
I'm not sure if I said that exactly, but yeah.
Can you describe sort of what you saw the first time you looked out the window?
I just saw a little in front of the driveway a little bit. I saw a truck. I saw my friend Julie at the passenger door. I suppose talking to the people in the truck. And a little ways up, I saw another dark SUV that I wasn't aware of.
And so you agree that there was nothing obstructing the view between the truck and the dark SUV, correct?
Well, not from my vantage point, no.
And the second time you looked out the window, the only difference you saw was that Ms. Reed's vehicle had pulled up, correct?
Well, I didn't know it was Miss Reed's vehicle, but the car that was there had moved up, yes.
And the truck was no longer there, correct?
The second time I looked out the window? That I'm not sure of.
Will it refresh your recollection to take a look at your testimony
Sure.
from July 6, 2020, or sorry, May 18, 2023? Can I put your honor?
Yes. So show Mr. Lally.
And you can look up when your recollection is refreshed.
Okay, yep.
Does that refresh your recollection as to what you testified to
Sure, yes.
on May 18, 2023?
Yes.
Isn't it true that you said that the second time you looked out, you saw that there was a black SUV that pulled over,
Yes.
but the truck was no longer there?
Sure, it seems like I said that then, yes.
You also testified earlier that you saw tire tracks in the snow, correct?
Yep.
Where were those tracks?
Just along the side towards the driveway along this way, going up towards the flagpole.
And you viewed those tracks kind of leading up towards the flagpole, correct?
Yes.
So you'd agree that the visibility and lighting in front of the house was good enough that you were able to see tire tracks in the snow, correct?
Sure.
Sure? That's your answer?
See a 220-pound man lying in the snow in your front yard.
Objection.
Was that something that you saw?
No, I didn't see that.
Who was in the house the second time that you looked out the window?
It would have been my mom, my dad, Brian Higgins, my sister, Julie, Sarah, Uncle Matt.
Mr. Albert, you testified on May 18, 2023 in another grand jury,
Mhm.
and you said, quote, "I'm not sure if Brian Higgins is still there. I know he left at some point." Do you recall that testimony?
Yeah, I know he left my house at some point. I just don't know exactly when it was.
You were asked specifically at the time that you looked out the window who was there, and you said, "I'm not sure if Brian Higgins is there."
Yeah.
Isn't that correct?
Okay, if I said that, yes, because I was not sure. I'm still not sure that if he was there or not.
So you're not sure whether Brian Higgins was there when you looked out the window, correct?
No, I'm not sure.
You have no independent recollection as you sit here today where Mr. Higgins was when you looked out the window, correct?
No.
You also didn't recall Mr. Higgins ever saying goodbye to you or your group, correct?
I believe that's true, yeah.
In fact, you actually testified before another grand jury on May 18, 2023, that at some point Mr. Higgins just wasn't there anymore. I must have gone to the bathroom or something. I came back and I said, "Where did Higgins go?" And they said he left, correct?
Sure, yes.
You also testified before that.
Is it really that loud?
So, yeah, I'm gonna see it, Tyburn, if you could bring that, please.
I literally turned it down. I'm so sorry. Am I blowing up anyone else's speakers? Please tell me. That's not my intent. I'm on my travel setup, so it's a little bit off. I am loud? Okay. Is this better when I put the microphone a little bit away from me? I'm a tad loud. I am the loudest. I will be the loudest. That's a fact. Because I speak louder because I'm the one streaming. Okay, so number 2 and number 3. Number 1, number 2.
When did your father leave?
Which one do you prefer?
Brian Higgins.
Leave? You mean like go upstairs, go to bed, or?
Leave your view.
He would have left after Brian Higgins had gone.
Mr. Albert, isn't it true that you weren't quite so sure about that when you testified on
People are mostly playing number 2, so right about here.
I don't know.
Okay,
You would
got
have
it.
to show me.
Thank you.
Do you have a specific
Thank you, Chad.
recollection of your father leaving after Mr. Higgins was gone?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he went upstairs after Brian Higgins left.
Especially when I get excited. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it here then.
Mr. Albert,
Right here? Okay, alright.
Yeah, if people turn up their volume for like the witnesses and the lawyers in the trial, then I am gonna sound extremely loud. What about 69 Flux? What did I miss?
Mr. Albert, isn't it true that you told the grand jury, "I'm pretty sure Mr. Higgins left first before my dad went upstairs, because he wouldn't have left if his friend was still there"?
Yes, I just said that here as well.
You don't have any specific recollection as you sit here today where your father was or where Mr. Higgins was when you looked out the window that night,
No.
correct?
No, that's not true. I know that my father was in the room with us. I'm saying I don't know when Brian Higgins left the house. And when Brian Higgins left the house, then my father went upstairs into his bedroom.
But what you actually said was, quote, "I'm pretty sure."
But what you
Mr.
actually
Higgins
said, I
left
love
first
that.
Before my dad went upstairs, because he wouldn't have left if his friend was still there, correct?
I see what you're saying. Yes, but I still say that my dad wouldn't have went upstairs until Brian Higgins left the house.
Right, and that's based on an assumption, correct?
Sure. Yeah.
Because you weren't interviewed about this case until 18 months later, correct?
Yeah.
You did not personally observe your father go upstairs, correct?
No, I did. I watched him go up the stairs. I was in the kitchen. You can see the stairs right there.
Your testimony is you can see individuals walk upstairs in your house.
Depending on,
Kitchen.
yes, the dining room. From the dining room, I meant.
There's actually a wall that kind of blocks the dining room stairs. correct?
Not if you're sitting at the 2 chairs with your back to the windows. If I was sitting in the long chair right here, the stairs would be right here. I could easily see through the doorway.
But as you sit here today, you don't know what time that happened, correct?
No, I don't know the time. No.
Mr. Albert, I'd like to direct your attention to the morning of January 29th.
Sure.
Can you describe sort of how you woke up that morning?
My dad just knocked on my door, and I woke up and opened the door.
You didn't hear any dog barking?
No,
You didn't see any emergency vehicles?
no,
Didn't hear any ambulances?
no,
Convenient.
Didn't hear any screaming outside?
no.
How do you not hear a woman screaming
What
outside?
did you do once you woke up?
I went downstairs.
Did you ever look out the window?
I don't recall if I did or not.
You don't recall?
So you could look at your grand jury testimony?
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Oh my god, he is melting. He is freaking melting. Yep, I agree, Flux. Look at his posture. He just like he sucks in air. Good golly, Miss Molly.
Okay.
Ah.
Is your recollection refreshed?
Sure, yeah.
Why didn't you look out the window that morning?
Well, I say here that I just would give me anxiety to look out the window.
Is there a reason that you didn't want to look outside?
I'm just an anxious person, and I got overwhelmed. I think most people would be overwhelmed in that situation.
Did you say that this was kind of a new thing for you, for cops and police to be at the house?
Yeah, that's never happened before. I've never had cops at or be in my house.
And it made you overwhelmed, correct?
Yeah, I get overwhelmed easy, so.
Mr. Albert, how many times did you discuss this case with members of your family before you spoke to the Massachusetts State Police on May 18th?
I don't have an answer for that. I don't know how many times.
Hundreds?
We talk about it pretty decent. I mean, considering, yeah.
What members of your family have you discussed this case with?
My parents, my sister, occasionally my aunt, JJ, and Uncle Matt.
Would you say it's been hundreds of conversations
Well, I guess,
in January 20th?
there's, yeah, but we have nothing.
The white snow on your front lawn,
No,
but you did see those tire tracks.
I did.
No further questions.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
A redirect, Your Honor. A redirect.
Oh, come on. You need to learn from your daddy. I only hang out and drink with her on days that end in Y. That's funny.
You can raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the evidence you give before the jury and the case down here to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So you know that?
I do.
Thank you. You may take this.
afternoon.
Could you please state your name and spell your last name?
Sure. Caitlin Albert, CAITLINALBERT.
And where do you live now?
I live in Easton,
And how long have you lived?
about 3 years.
What kind of one do you live there?
I live with Tristan Morris, my boyfriend.
And you and Mr. Morris, about how long have you lived?
Almost 8 years.
Now, prior to living in Easton, where was it that you lived before that?
I lived in Canton,
And specifically, where in Canton did you live?
34 Fairview Road.
And
I actually originally spelled her name like this. I didn't realize it's
I lived there
CAITLIN.
from about
I forgot.
2011 to 2021.
And that was a family home, is that right?
Yes.
And who did you live at 34 Fairview Road?
My mom, my dad, and my 4 siblings.
And your mom's name is Cole, is that right?
Yes.
And your dad and your father's name is Brian Albert.
Yes.
And how many siblings did you have, I'm sorry?
I have 4.
And you're the oldest?
I am.
And do you work?
I do.
What do you do for?
I work for the Massachusetts Attorney General's office in the Medicaid Fraud Division.
Medicaid
And how long
fraud.
have you been doing it?
Almost 3 years, I think. In September, it'll be 3 years.
So she's also a practice liar. That's not good. She's gonna do well.
Turn your attention to January 28th, 2022 to January 29th, 2000. Do you recall that time frame?
I do.
And do you recall what days of the week they
I actually am not sure that I recall the exact days of the week. Maybe Friday or Saturday.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, weekend, definitely.
Do you not know the days?
And as far as your family is concerned, the 29th, what if any significance is that?
That would be my brother's birthday.
And which of your brothers is it whose birthday was?
Brian Albert Jr.
And is beyond Brian Albert Jr., just for sake of my own lack of confusion, is there some other name that you would call him as far as differentiating him between the brothers?
Little Brian, sometimes, even though he's not so little.
Why is she so happy?
And so during the course of that week, sort of leading up to the weekend, what if any discussions did you have with your mother or anybody else in your family in regards to little Brian?
So leading up to that weekend, I was aware that my brother might have like a friend or two over the house for his birthday. And then I had spoken with my mom and my aunt, Julie Albert, about maybe going to a local Canton bar, grabbing some food and some drinks, and just kind of seeing where the night takes us, and then maybe ultimately going back and seeing my brother for just to say happy birthday, kind of end the night that way.
Doesn't she,
As the week
Estrella?
went along, what if anything?
She looks like she's just going on a night out
Plans were.
with Lally after this.
Nothing that I
Also,
can really think of.
Notice the cross, like the open shirt, the open
nothing
cleavage
really
to
changed.
show
I think
I'm a
that was
good
sort of-
Christian.
I don't remember exactly how the
I wear
plan
a
came
cross.
about, that we were gonna, go get
You
food
see
and that
this?
my brother was gonna have friends
This is
over,
no
but
accident, folks. This was intentional.
I believe that was always sort of our plan.
And so specifically on the 28th, at some point you came to Canton, correct?
Yes.
And do you recall how you came to Canton and where was it that you went first?
So I can't say for sure. From what I remember, I believe that my boyfriend Tristan and I went straight from Easton to the waterfall and actually got there before my mom and my aunt Julie, from what I can remember. And then my mom and Julie ended up meeting us there, and that's when we sort of started just kind of like hanging out, ordering food and some
Everyone
drinks.
is hanging
And
out.
we were there for a little bit, just the
What?
4 of us.
And do you recall about what time it was that you got to the waterfall?
We're just hanging out.
Unfortunately, I can't remember an exact time, but it would have been around like dinner time. So if I had to guess, maybe like 6.
And as far as drinking was concerned with that night, you're at a bar and you weren't driving, correct?
Oh yeah, no, I was not driving.
And do you recall specifically what kind
I believe that night I was drinking White Claw, I think.
And your boyfriend, Mr. Morris, as far as what, if anything, was going on with him that night, as far as how long was he at for?
Yeah, so we were aware
Jessica.
that it was likely going to snow that night. So my boyfriend Tristan had gotten offered to do some like plowing or shoveling. So he knew that he was going to have to probably be up for the majority of the night into the morning doing some shoveling. So he didn't stick around at the waterfall for too long. I think he had some food, maybe like 1 or 2 drinks, and then he actually ended up going home.
And you stayed at the waterfall after he went home?
I stayed there, yeah, with
You
my
do
mom
seem
and
like a
my
white
aunt
blood
Julie.
kind of girl.
And if you recall, as far as that evening at the waterfall, what, if anything, was going on as far as live entertainment?
I want to say that there might have been a band. I just don't want to say for sure, but I think I do recall a band coming in and setting up, and yeah, I think that there might have been one.
Now, as far as the evening progressed and went on, who, if anyone else, came into the waterfall and sort of joined you?
Sure. So I can't say for sure like times of people arriving or order of people arriving, but I know at one point my uncle Chris Albert, he ended up joining us. He owns a pizza shop across the street, so when he was done working, he came and joined us.
Wait, what's
and
a
then
girl?
my aunt Jen McCabe and her husband Matt McCabe joined us. And then at some point, my father, Brian Albert, and his friend, Brian Higgins,
Do I
also
have to
joined
go
us.
to Urban
So
Dictionary
at one
for
point
this?
in time, I'm not sure the order of which, everybody came in or the time that they came in, but at some point we were all kind of there hanging out.
Now, and your father and Mr. Higgins, you know where...
Oh, Weekend Warrior Princess.
Yes, I believe they were coming from New York
Who goes
from
out in
a
a company of
funeral.
several other woo
And I remember I
girls.
had asked my mom, like, is Dad gonna stop by?
They can be
And
spotted
she
by
was
going,
like, I don't know, he's tired. He's coming back from New York. And I was like, oh, I want to see him.
yes,
So
a woo
I
girl.
think I convinced him to come, and then Brian Higgins just kind of
Yes.
tagged along, from what I can remember.
I have heard of these
Now, as far as
woo
Mr.
girls.
Higgins was concerned, was that someone that you were familiar with prior to this meeting on the 28th?
I knew of him, and I had met him a couple times, but nothing more than that.
Exactly,
Where
Tobin T.
the house that you, for lack of a better term, grew up in or spent some form of years in, had Mr. Higgins ever been over to that house as you were there?
Not that I know of.
Evan, stop it. Stop it.
Now, at some point later in the evening,
Stop
if
it.
anyone else came,
You guys are so bad.
came up to your group or joined you,
So from what I can remember, I remember sitting at like a high top table, and it was me and my mom
Oh my God.
sitting next to each other,
Chad.
and we were facing like the front door of the waterfall. And I recall a man and a woman walking in, and at first I didn't know who either of them were, but I noticed that the
I
man
tried.
started talking to like some of my aunts and uncles that I was with, and he seemed friendly with the people that were in our
I guess you have
group.
to
So I
join the
had said
Attorney
to my
General's
mom, like,
office
oh,
to
who
be
is
that
that?
bush.
And she said, oh, that's John O'Keefe. And I had known of him because I knew his story about his niece and his nephew and his family. So I had known of him, but had never met him before. And so then I just assumed that the woman that was with him was his significant other, girlfriend, wife. I didn't know. So then, I didn't really speak to either of them. I think at one point, John came up to me and my mom and asked, like, do you guys need anything? Do you need a drink? And we said no, and that was pretty much it.
I wonder who's going to be crossing her.
So when you say you knew of John O'Keefe and sort of the story you related,
Does she know where the fourth hole is?
you know anything
Because she's
about
going to find out on cross,
what was the privilege?
just like her brother did.
Well, in general, it was kind of like a known thing. The tragedy of what happened in the O'Keefe family. And so I had just kind of heard that story. And then on top of that,
You think it's Yannetti?
John O'Keefe's niece is either the same age or around the same age as some of my younger cousins. So I knew that she was friendly with them. I knew that my Aunt Jen McCabe would like help out here and there, going to sports, going to different events, whatever. I know that my Aunt Jen was friendly with John O'Keefe. And I knew that my Aunt Julie and Uncle Chris were somewhat friends with him as well.
Okay, so she remembers a lot on direct. Let's see if she can remember just as much on cross.
So the younger cousins that I'm referring to would be the McCabe girls, and their parents are Jen McCabe and Matt McCabe.
And they were present at the waterfall that evening as well.
Jen and Matt were, yes.
Now, with reference to Mr. O'Keefe and the significant other that you described, have you ever met him prior to that evening?
I had not to my knowledge. I wouldn't be surprised if there was maybe like a sporting event or something where we, met each other in passing, but I had never formally met John or the woman that he was with.
And so on that evening, January 28th, you had never met, nor were you aware of anybody by the name of Karen?
No, I was not.
And if you know about what time was it that they came into the waterfall?
I can't say for sure. I'm not sure of time.
Fair to say the other people that you testified about, as far as your uncles and aunts and things like that, were they all there at the time?
I believe so. I believe that everyone who was there in the group that I was with was present when John O'Keefe and Karen Reed arrived.
And about what time was it that things started to wind down as far as the waterfall was concerned?
Again, I'm the worst with times, but I would say it was around like 12-ish that we kind of said, let's kind of head out and head home. I would say 12-ish, approximately.
Now,
Can we tell the difference between this one and this one?
right. How would you describe
A or B?
I mean,
A.
I didn't notice any
Or B?
conversation.
A.
Seemed positive, lighthearted.
Or B?
fighting or tension between your groups? Is that correct?
All right.
Correct.
And as far as you saw, with regards to Mr. O'Keefe and Ms. Reed, no issues as far as fighting or tension that you observed with them?
Not that I observed. No.
And when you, around 12-ish or so, when you started to leave, who was it that,
You heard John was trying to crack down on a drug situation, and the Alberts wanted to stop him.
So
Oh, that's
I
interesting.
left
Angie.
with my mom and my dad. And again, I'm not sure the order of when like everybody else left. But I went with my mom and my dad back to 34 Fairview Road.
and if you recall, who drove home from the waterfall to 34th?
My dad.
Flux. God damn it.
Drive is that from the waterfall to...
Flux is drooling over
I
there.
would say like 5 or 6 minutes, give or take.
And when you arrived to the house at 34th Fairview, do you recall where your bus parked in relation to the house?
From what I can remember, he parked in the driveway. The driveway.
And if you know about how many other cars were in the driveway when the bus was
I'm not sure. I know there was at least like 1 or 2, but I can't say for sure. I just don't really remember how many were in the driveway at the time. I had like younger siblings in college at the time who would sometimes take some of the cars, so I just don't remember for sure.
You know, essentially, they're within the driveway, there's a garage within the driveway, is that correct?
Yes.
And there's door on the left, door on the right, is that right?
Yes.
Do you recall whether or not your father entered the driveway on the left side or the right side in relation?
I don't remember.
And when you came into the house, do you remember how it was that you entered the vehicle?
Yes. From what I remember, I went in the front door. So I would have gotten out and walked on the brick path over to the front door area, walked up the steps, and then walked through the door that enters into like a
You guys are
foyer
horrible.
area.
Horrible, I say.
Where sort of when you walk
Please
into that
continue.
front door with your foyer area,
So when I first walked in, I actually had seen my cousin Colin. He was standing in the foyer area. And I remember I said to him, like, "Oh, hi, what are you doing?"
This ain't a party, chica.
What, if anything, did you observe as far as the weather at that?
I remember at that point, snow was definitely coming down. And I could tell that it was like progressively getting worse.
You walk into the home in the front foyer area, that's where you went to your cousin Colin.
Yes.
How is Colin related to you as far as how is he?
So Colin is Julie Albert and Chris Albert's son. So he's my first cousin.
And when you walk in, sort of bump into him, where was it?
He told me that he was headed.
Objection relevant. Hearsay.
To my knowledge, he was going home.
Again, to what is?
From the time that you walked in and bumped into Colin, sort of before you at the home, how long was it that he was in the home while you?
I would say minutes.
And from your group, this includes yourself, your mother, your father, is that correct?
Sorry, what was that? After myself, my mom and dad.
And so when Mr. Higgins comes into the house of 34 Fairview, are you already in the house?
So we're just sitting around the dining room table. So I said happy birthday to him and was just kind of hanging out in there for a little bit. And Julie Nagel. Colin had left by then. So we were just all kind of
I think you know about at any point in time when you were let me ask you this first. As far as the sort of demeanor or moods within the house, similar to how I asked you with the waterfall, did any of that change once you returned back to the parents' house in Fairview Road?
no.
Why are they all saying the words hanging out? Other than they all got
Correct,
together and they practiced what they're going to say and how they're going to say it. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Every single one of them has used the words hanging out. Hanging out.
No, neither of them ever came into the home.
Now, with regard to the people that you were describing before, at any point in time, did the people in the kitchen dining room area, any of them leave that area now?
I think when my mom, my dad, and I first got there, I believe my dad went upstairs to grab the dog to let her out. So he did that, and then I think there was another period of time where my dad might have been showing, or maybe my mom or my dad were showing Brian Higgins like family photos of one of my brothers who's in the Marines. So that would have been in like the family room area, which still is like there's an open doorway, so it's not like the door was shut or anything. But other than that, we all kind of stayed within that dining room kitchen vicinity.
Now, with reference to the dog, that was a family dog, is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
And what was the dog's name?
Chloe.
And with respect to letting the dog out, can you describe to the jury sort of what that process entailed? Was it on leash or how would the dog be let?
Sure. So we had like a fenced-in backyard, and we had a back door. So we would just kind of open the back door.
Hey, Stephanie.
She would kind of do her thing, and then she'd
done
come
with
back
work?
in when she was done.
Welcome to the crap show.
Yes.
The family room that you were talking about, where your father and or your mother and Mr. Higgins were, as far as the photographs, where is that in relation to the dining room kitchen area? Specifically, can you see that area from the dining room kitchen?
Into the family room? Yes. So there's just sort of like it's like a doorway, but there's no door there. It's pretty open. And if you're standing in the dining room or the kitchen, you can see into the family room for the most part.
Now, you at that point were not living at the address on Fairview Road, is that right?
Correct.
And as far as the people that were at the house who did not live at Fairview home on that night, who was the last person?
I was the last person to leave.
And prior to your departure from the house, sometime hour 45 or so after the thought,
Mm-hmm.
you described the order in which the other people that you described were there. What order did those?
I don't remember the order in which everybody left, but I do remember that Sarah Levinson, Julie Nagel, my aunt Jen, and my uncle Matt, they all
sorry.
all left in one car,
A little lag.
and then Brian Higgins
My bad.
left. But I
Internet here sucks. Come on, stop it. Sorry, folks. Oh, come on. Really? Oh, come on. Sorry, you guys. My internet just... all I did was, like, open Facebook, and it just crapped out on me.
And
Thank you.
with
There we go.
respect to the front area of the house, at any point in time,
It'll stabilize in a second.
discussion that you recall about anything going on there?
I don't recall a discussion going on about anything happening out front, except for at one point,
Yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi.
Let me hear her answer first. Except for what,
at one point I remember that Julie Nagel's brother was supposed to pick her up. So I
Wi-Fi
knew
here
that there
is
was
not
some
the best.
communication where she told him, never mind, you don't need to pick me up. You can go home. I'm gonna go home
I only
with
have one OnlyFans.
Jen and Matt.
Now,
Yes.
with respect to your aunt, Jennifer McKay, what, if anything, do you recall her doing with, do you recall her having a cell phone that night?
I do.
And what, if anything,
You
do
guys are
recall
so bad. So bad.
I remember at one point we were standing in the kitchen and I had noticed she was on the phone. And I remember she said something to the effect of like, oh, okay.
There you go.
At some point, did you see her talking on the phone?
I did.
And at some point, did you see her texting?
I'm not sure about texting. I definitely saw her speaking with somebody on the phone though.
And at some point, where did she put her phone in relation to where you guys were in the kitchen that?
I'm not sure.
Recall any sort of charger or anything like that in that area of the home?
I don't.
Now, as far as who picked you up from the house that night?
My boyfriend.
And Mr. Morris came to the house on Fairview Road and picked you up at some point, about an hour, 45 minutes or so after you arrived there, is that correct?
Yes.
And recall what Mr. Morris was driving on that period?
I remember that he actually was driving my car, which is a 2019 white Jeep Cherokee.
And what kind of car did Mr. Morris have?
At that time, he had a very old, I want to say like 2012 Ford Taurus. So that's why he took my car, because the Taurus wouldn't have been good in the snow.
And how was it you came? Did he call you, text you? How did you know that he was there?
I believe that we texted, and that's how I was informed that he was out front.
Did you receive a text, something that affected you here, and then you go outside?
Yes.
And when you went outside, you recall, what was the weather like when you were coming out of town?
When I walked outside, I remember, again, the snow was coming down a lot. I remember like sort of trying to watch my step because the stairs in the brick path were pretty snowy, and I didn't want to slip. So as far as weather, yeah, I remember it was actively snowing and I was trying not to slip.
Okay, we get it. You don't want to
That's pretty
slip.
much what I can remember.
And you recall where it was that your boyfriend?
Flux, don't get any ideas. You shut your whole mouth.
I believe he parked in the driveway.
So you would have come down the steps.
I know what Flux is thinking right now.
Area, correct?
Yes.
And who drove from Fairview Road to back home then?
Tristan did.
Now, if you recall, when Ms. Morris, I'm assuming, backs out of the driveway, is that correct?
Mhm.
When he backs out of the driveway, where does the vehicle go in relation?
We went up Fairview Road, so towards the flagpole in our yard.
And so towards the flagpole with the passenger side facing the house, is that right?
Yes.
And if you recall,
Slipping near that flagpole.
what if anything, with respect to the weather?
She doesn't want to.
You have to avoid within the car.
I remember the windshield wipers were on, and I remember he was driving very cautiously 10 and 2. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, the snow is coming down pretty hard.
And as you drove past the house, were you looking outside or looking at the house or the front lawn area at home?
I was not. Once I got inside the car, my attention was on him, and we were having
I
a
don't think she's
conversation,
into
so
girls.
I
Flux. I'm
hadn't
really
been
sorry
looking
to
out
report.
the passenger window towards my house at really any point.
So your head was turned towards your boyfriend driving the car to the left as you drive away.
Oh God,
Yes.
you guys are killing me. I'm dying. Please continue.
Yeah, one moment.
Yes.
Oh God. Oh, are we done? Cross? Somebody asked me, should they start cross today or wait till tomorrow? I would start it today. It may even get done today. They have about an hour. Sometimes she lets the court go until like 4:30, right? Judge Bev. She really does. You're not the only
Nothing
one
further, Your Honor.
getting this feeling.
Janetti?
Yannetti, nice. Yannetti, get her. Sick Yannetti on her.
Good afternoon.
So, Ms. Albert, you were at your parents' home on January 29th by midnight or shortly thereafter, correct?
Correct.
And
Party's over.
You were the last one to leave at 1:45, 2 o'clock, somewhere in that area?
Yes.
On January 29th of 2022, after you got up that day, did you receive a call, a text, any sort of communication from any investigator connected with this case?
I did not.
Trooper Proctor did not contact you on January 29th?
No,
Did not interview you on January 29th?
he did not.
What about January 30th,
No.
31st?
Nope.
How about the entire month of February? Did you hear from Cooper Proctor wherein he set up a meeting or an interview with you?
I did not.
Then what about the entire rest of 2022?
Objection,
did
Your
Cooper
Honor.
Proctor interview you during that entire year?
All right, so the objection's overruled. You can answer that.
I was not interviewed, no.
And then in 2023, prior to May of 2023, were you contacted by Cooper Proctor or any investigator for an interview regarding what you just testified to here today?
I don't think so.
You haven't met Mr. Lally by May of 2023, correct?
I don't think so.
But in May of 2023, you actually were called to testify at another hearing where neither the Commonwealth or the defense in this case was present, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Lally, Ms. McLaughlin were not there, and certainly no members of the defense team were there, correct?
Correct.
And May of 2023 was well over a year after the events that you were called to testify about, correct?
Correct.
Right, so if these events happened on January 28th, 29th, 2022, the end of January of 2023 would have been a year, and now you're being asked for the first time to give testimony about what happened back in January of 2022 in May of 2023, correct?
Yes.
And then it was only
Her voice is
after you
cracking.
testified for that other proceeding without the prosecution and the defense of this case there that Cooper Proctor finally interviewed you in August of 2023, correct?
That's correct.
And that was 4 months after you testified in that other hearing of May of 2023, correct? June, July, I'm sorry, 3 months. June, July, August, correct?
Correct.
And it was about a year and a half after January 29th of 2022, correct?
I believe so.
All that makeup is not going to cover up your redness that's about to happen, Caitlin.
Mr. Lally had asked you about whether you knew Brian Higgins. Do you remember that line of questioning?
I do.
And I believe you testified that you knew of Higgins, correct?
Yes.
And you thought that you had met him a couple of times.
It's already started.
Correct?
Yes.
So, Brian Higgins, you would classify as an acquaintance, correct?
To me,
Yes.
I would classify him as a friend of my father's, not really an acquaintance or friend of mine.
Okay. So he didn't rise to the level of an acquaintance, somebody who you met, but you didn't really know.
I'm not really sure how I would categorize my relationship with him. Again, it was just more of like, he was my father's friend. If I had seen him walking down the street, I would have said hello to him. I don't know anything about his personal life. I don't communicate with him regularly. So I mean, if that's what you would consider an acquaintance, then yes.
I guess I would ask, what do you consider an acquaintance? How would you define that?
Yeah, we know where that's going.
I would say an acquaintance is someone who you are friendly with and might see from time to time. I guess in my head, I'm just sort of thinking someone who's in closer in age with me. I usually think of it as more of like a friend type thing and not my father's friend to me. I guess that's just the way I think of it in my head.
Okay, so is your testimony before this jury that an acquaintance is really a friend?
Someone that you're friendly with, perhaps.
Firefighter
Could be.
McLaughlin, cough, cough.
Have you watched any of the testimony in this case prior to your taking the stand today?
I have not.
Has anybody told you anything about any of the testimony that has occurred prior to your taking the stand today?
No.
Who is Katie McLaughlin?
Katie McLaughlin is a girl who I'm the same age as. We went to high school
She's being very
together.
careful about the word
We
choices.
graduated the same year, and we have a couple mutual friends. We interact with some of the same people socially. I can't think of a time, possibly ever, where her and I ever hung out one-on-one or individually. So more of like a friend of a mutual friend.
Okay. So, Kate, you would not consider Katie McLaughlin to be a friend.
She's not a close personal friend of
I
mine.
asked you if she was a
That's
close
not what he
personal
asked.
friend.
Objection.
Let her finish her answer.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your answer.
I would not consider her one of my, again, close friends.
All right. So let's get back to my question. Would you consider her to be a friend?
Objection.
I'll allow that.
Your Honor, may we approach?
What?
Hey, jurors, feel free to stand up and stretch.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Why are you so worried about her saying that they are close personal friends, huh? Oh my God, man. Oh my God, I dislike this. Dislike.
Come on, move.
Highly dislike. Ay, 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 ay. Yeah, I don't believe that she hasn't watched any testimony. I believe she's been watching. Her body language was like dead on. Notice how she was careful to say we never hung out one-on-one. It was always in a group of friends. It was always like a group of us. Like, literally, that's not... Girls don't do that. It's too obvious. Of course they do. They just go to the bathroom together and they have a little chit-chat. Like, at least.
This is a weird story.
What a bizarre answer. Yeah, exactly, Tim. I'm sorry, the Wi-Fi here is just not up to snuff, folks. I'm on Wi-Fi. I'm trying the best that I can. I'm sorry for all the lag. But my God. This is horrific. She was so careful with her words. She was so careful.
Look, baby. People, I've seen court cases, but it's been a joke all day. First the father, then the son. Oh, you talk about perjury going on.
I know of her, yes.
And you've been in her company several times, correct?
Yes.
You've met her children, correct?
Hey
Once,
Larry,
yes.
people,
Once.
it's in them motels, them Wi-Fi is not that
Yes.
good.
When Michael Proctor ultimately interviewed you in August of 2023, did he ever ask you how well you knew?
She's a very good-looking young lady.
Did that subject ever come up?
Not that I remember.
And did you ever mention it to him that you had met his sister and met his sister's kids?
I did not.
on January 28th of 2022, you went to the waterfall with your boyfriend Tristan Morris, correct?
Yes.
And ultimately, he left and you stayed, correct?
Yes.
The reason that you stayed is you wanted to go back to 34 Fairview, your old home, to be there by midnight when your brother was turning 23, correct?
Not necessarily. My plan was always to stay and just spend some time with my mom and my aunt. But Tristan left very early because he knew that he was going to have to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning shoveling or plowing. So my plan was never to go back with him. But it wasn't necessarily because it was my brother's birthday. It was just what my plan was for the night.
Certainly the fact that it was your brother's birthday didn't deter you from going back, right? In other words, the fact that it was your
People
brother's
is watching
birthday
this.
didn't cause you to hesitate to go
Just
back.
use
You wanted
common
to, right?
sense. Take note. But I've been watching it for about
Well,
the
my brother
past
Brian wasn't
10
at the waterfall.
days, 13 days, or whatever. I got my reasonable doubts.
Yes.
You stayed at the waterfall.
There's so much police screwed up in this case.
At some point in time,
They're
that
gonna
was
find her
spoken
not
about,
guilty.
and I agreed
But
to go back.
gotta keep
to
watching
34
it.
Fairview, yes.
And you went back there to see your family, correct?
Yes.
Including your brother Brian, whose
Come on,
birthday
get
was,
down.
correct?
Yes.
That was your parents' home, right?
Thank you,
Yes.
You
Blackie.
grew up there.
Yes.
You were comfortable there.
Yes.
There was plenty of room in the house, correct?
In what sense? Yes.
Not all of them were taken up, correct?
At that time, correct.
You certainly felt welcome there, correct?
Yes.
And there was no problem with you staying there overnight, correct?
Correct.
And when you made the decision to go there after the waterfall, you knew that there was a snowstorm that was starting, correct?
Yes.
People hit the
And
subscribe
you
bell.
when you went back to 34 Fairview,
Thumbs up.
saw your
Tell your friends about my channel.
correct?
Yes.
In fact, you walked in and you
I could use your help.
Correct.
Tell me how to improve my channel.
many times, correct?
Correct.
You're close with him as your first cousin, are you not?
I am.
And your brother Brian Jr. is close with him as well, correct?
Yes.
Paul and Albert is close with your parents, correct?
Yes.
He's certainly welcome at your parents' home, correct?
Correct.
And it was certainly not shocking to see your first cousin, Colin Albert, at your home, correct?
Correct.
And you had a brief interaction with him, correct?
Yes.
That was sort of toward the foyer of the house?
Yes.
And then you continued deeper into your parents' home and you saw other people, correct?
Yes.
Where did you go within the home after you had seen Colin?
I believe I entered through the foyer into the dining room area.
And when you were there, you saw your brother Brian, whose birthday it was, correct?
Yes.
He had two friends with him, Julie Nagel and Sarah Levinson, in that same area.
Yes.
You greeted them as well.
Yes.
And that's where your attention was focused, fair to say?
I would say that once I said hello to them, I didn't just sit with them three. I sort of was walking around. I wouldn't say my attention was solely focused on them three, but I did greet them, yes.
And where you were walking around within the kitchen dining room area?
Yes.
And once you greeted Colin and left him, it's fair to say that you then were not looking over your shoulder monitoring what Colin was doing or where he was going, correct?
Correct.
And while you were in the kitchen dining room area, the door to the basement was kind of blocked from your view, was it not?
If I'm in the dining room area, there is a spot in there where I could see it, but I don't believe I could see the basement door, no.
Right, and from your vantage point, the door to the basement's kind of blocked from the area that you were in.
For the most part, yes.
And you weren't watching Colin to see where he went after you left him, correct?
Correct.
And you never saw him leave the house physically, correct?
Correct.
Maybe a good time to pause. I don't know. Are we
All right, then we'll pause then.
All right. End testimony for the day.
Okay, and then I'm just gonna stay here and just look at this final
There is
Thank you.
the same three conditions. Please do not discuss this case with anyone. Don't do any independent research or investigation into this case. If you happen to see, hear, or read anything about this case, please disregard and let us know. Tomorrow's an opportunity.
All rise to the court, please.
All right. Here we are. We're going to resume tomorrow. Which reminds me.
People, this is the DUI guy. Go to his channel and subscribe. You like the DUI
All
guy.
right.
He's out of Louisville,
Um,
Kentucky.
Is it lagging again?
So, Ms. Gianetti, why don't you tell me now what it is you hope to do tomorrow and
Of course, Anna.
basis for it?
Right, so, my claim, Your Honor, is based on the fact that, Keaton Coffey, when she testified, tried to minimize her relationship.
Whoa, what happened? Why did you cut it off?
Huh.
Minimize her relationship.
That was not me.
No,
I was
that's,
still. He was still talking. What the hell?
that's what I say.
Why did they just cut it off?
They don't want us to hear it.
She was trying to minimize her friendship, probably, he was trying to say, and the judge is probably going to rule on that, but I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Sucks. Sucks. This sucks. Okay. Alright. Well, whatever. Okay. Yeah, so we'll resume tomorrow, 9 a.m. sharp. Be back here or be square. What's up? What's up?
Best of the best.
And then on Wednesday, I'm gonna be in the courtroom.
That'll be the second
Alright.
time he been in that courtroom.
That's gonna be fun. That's fun. In the meantime, folks, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I love every single one of you, as always.
Just like
Don't forget,
me.
Every day, 6 p.m., including today, it's going to be a new video. Thanks, Anita Morris, for being a member for 2 months. It has flown by. No, I was on NBC 10. It's gone. They
Sure.
finished it.
Try court TV
Live stream
or
is muted
law
and racing
and
up-
time and law.
Oh, they had like a message on it or something. I was gonna stop by the protesters, but we just haven't really. I just haven't really had the time and the ability to do it. I've been very, very busy because, as you all know, I also have like my own work. Oh wait! Oh. Whoa! 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 Whoa!
By other photos of the two of them together.
including one, intimate photo of them, before them. So when I say before them, I mean Caitlin Albert, the two college roommates, and the only person who's not a college roommate in that photo is Katie McLaughlin. Katie McLaughlin also said that she never went on anything other than occasional day trips with Caitlin Albert. We now know that that's false. We have them together in a hot tub drinking in a photo that is from Maine, which is about a 4-hour drive away.
When is
That
that?
was, it was posted on in 2016.
Thanks, HBO Max.
But when did it occur? Did it occur in 2016 or was it posted in 2016?
It was posted in 2016. I think that's when it was a new photo that was uploaded. That makes sense.
Abel D, I would be happy to. I'm representing a bunch of people with RV issues. If you know anybody who has any RV issues, tell them to call us. We are collecting RV issues cases. There's Turtle Boy.
Something that I knew in high school, and then we happened to be at the same places at various times, but I'm not.
Almost 2 years, bro. Isn't that crazy?
Going through the photos. The other aspect of this, Your Honor, is that she said that she had not, Katie McLaughlin testified she had not seen Caitlin Albert for I think 2 or 3 years prior to January of 2022. We have a baby shower photo that is from June of 2021. They are standing next to each other.
Do you have someone to authenticate that date?
Caitlin Albert will authenticate that date.
Why are you sure of that?
She's going to be showing a baby shower which occurred in 2021.
Okay.
That's when timestamp.
She should allow it. She should allow the photo.
Her face and her
I
body
agree.
are in that photo. Katie McLaughlin's face and body are in that photo.
How many other people are in that photo?
There's 6. Photo. Leave it back there. You can confirm it. I'm still not sure I did. Oh, thank you.
Or actually, if I can just see those, I thought these were different photos. If I could have those, then you don't need to count the people.
There are 5 other people in the photo with them, but they're together on the right side of the photo. These photos impeach the testimony of Katie McLaughlin multiple times.
Yes.
And we should be allowed to
For purposes of
explore
impeachment.
the bias of these witnesses, particularly the bias of Katie McLaughlin, who purports to give incriminating testimony against my client, brand new testimony that only existed after she learned the identity of the homeowners in this case.
Yes.
This is classic bias and classic impeachment evidence. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to show photographic evidence of this relationship, much like Ms. Lally shown photographic evidence of the 34th birthday, what it looks like. It's intended to assist the jury. And in doing a 403 balancing test, Your Honor.
Yes. That's a rule of evidence that he's citing.
Of this evidence greatly outweighs any prejudice. She's able to explain these photos any way she wants when Mr. Lally does his incorrect examination of her. But without being able to get into this,
She's a very good lawyer, people.
Testimony, it's like she's wearing a suit of armor. We can't get through it. We have the tools and the evidence to get through it. We have the ability to expose her as somebody that's misrepresented something very important to this court. We can't ask these questions and we can't get any of these photos, then we're not able to do it.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Lally, what do you say?
She's already made her decision.
You know, just as far as the authenticity of whatever these is, as far as social media is concerned, there's a variety of ways to fabricate that. And I think it's interesting that Ms. Giannetti is really vague about where these photos came from or how he knows these specifics that he's so
social
sure
media,
about when they occurred, where they occurred, what state people were in, what day it was, who is college roommates of who within these photographs.
He knows if they
but
real.
has no specifics about where these deluge of
You don't want the
photographs
truth
came from.
out. You part of the
What
cover
I
up.
would submit as far as Miss McLaughlin is concerned is she was entirely consistent, and I did the disparagement as far as what her testimony has been as far as her statement within
She
the
been
report to the
punching
proctor,
herself
grand
just
jury
like her
testimony in
dad
this
and
case,
brother
and the
had.
testimony before this jury on the stand were identical,
Yeah, Aiden is
if not entirely consistent. And again, it's not just Ms. McLaughlin that is attributing this statement to the defendant. The jury has heard from 2 other firefighters, as well as anticipated other witnesses who will testify to these exact same statements that the defendant made outside of the home on that day. What counsel I think is referring to as far as the could I have hit him is something that the defendant said to Miss McCabe, which was overheard by Miss Roberts on a
If you don't let
speakerphone
that in,
on the
it'll
way
be
to
grounded
Fairview
for
Road.
appeal.
And then she modifies that statement when she's asked specifically about the bruising and how that could have been caused. And it's at that point where she repeats, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. So to then use prior statements to a completely separate witness that have nothing to do with Miss McLaughlin to try to use that to
There's
no
find
cop
impeachment of
that
bias
she
is
hit
ridiculous.
him.
And then as far
Only
as
one
it applies to
paramedic.
this specific witness, when
I
it
hate
comes
this so
to
much.
impeachment
I'll
of
watch
bias,
it
the
live
case law
and-
is very clear about is if it goes to bias of the
They
witness
don't have
who's on the
anything
stand.
on body
And the
cams
witness in
or
this case
videos
is Miss
saying
Albert,
she
not
hit
Miss
him.
McLaughlin.
No, doesn't matter.
All right, thank you. This will save us some time tomorrow. All right.
Well, the only other thing I was going to add, Your Honor, so
She gonna rule? Wait tomorrow.
wait not to do this ability, but I pulled up my notes, I'm sure the court has. She has morphed her statement into, I asked if there had been any significant trauma. She said, I did it. Then she repeated it. A woman said, you're hysterical, you need to calm down. She said, I hit him. Then a police officer said, what did you say? She repeated, I hit him. And, you know, Ms. McCabe herself testified in the grand jury. That's not what happened. And she said at that moment, did I hit him? Could I have? She's on record saying it.
All right, thank you. I'll take a look at my notes and we'll figure this out first thing.
Give him advice, Larry.
Well, there's my OnlyFans. All right, folks. Now we're good. Now we're good. What a day! Oh my God. Brian Albert Jr., Caitlin Albert, all just crucified, folks. Just absolutely bludgeoned to death. I love it. I absolutely love it. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Are they going to allow these photos in? I think they're very prejudicial to the witness. They are being used for impeachment purposes, therefore they should be allowed. Yeah, that's where I'm at. What are the odds that Karen beats this one? It's somewhere between 99.5 and 99.7, but I can't exactly pinpoint the location of the odds of Karen beating this charge so far. But I can venture roughly, just very, very roughly, somewhere between 99.50% and 99.70%. That's my rough estimate. Yeah. Conservatively. I'm trying to be as unbiased and neutral as possible. So, I hope you all enjoyed today. Today has been an absolute crazy fiesta. Flux is going to need a change of panties after Caitlin testified. Does Flux have a P.O. box? You can ship a new pair of underwear to her P.O. box. I don't think Flux heard anything that Caitlin had to say, but it's okay. By her own admission.
What are you doing on my back?
Thanks for being here, Flux. This has been fun.
Blackie.
It's even more fun with you.
It's not supper time.
Well, they would
Damn.
have, Ragnarocker, but some of the cell phones were upgraded the day before they were to be collected. I'm still confused why it took them 7 months, 8 months. 8 months. It took them 8 months to decide, hey, we might want to get these cell phones in there. So, all right, folks. I'm gonna go eat. I'm hungry. It's already 4 p.m. It's breakfast time for me. I will see you guys next time. I love every single one of you. I love you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And I will see you all tomorrow. And tonight at 6.
Subscribe to his channel, the DUI guy out of Louisville, Kentucky. So I want to thank you all. You know, the DUI guy, I cut that off and get me for playing music in the background, copyright things. I want to thank you all. We the people, I'm going to say we the YouTubers, we cannot do it without your all's help. The old timers, I'm not talking about old people. The old timers, it's on YouTube, been there for a while. And do you know how it was when you first started on YouTube? You know, you didn't know what to talk about, or you watch other people's videos, see what they like, and stuff like that. So, I like for you all to subscribe to my channel. I'm 70 plus years old. 4 heart attacks, high blood pressure, sugar diabetes, arthritis. I live out in the country. I live on a fixed income, what they consider a budget. I live on a budget. Will I stream this tomorrow? Well, as I've been saying for the past week, I have to go to the hospital tomorrow, where they put that tube down your throat and see what your throat looks like. I think they might need to spread it. You know, like I say, I'm not the doctor. It'll be sometime tomorrow. You know, I'm not going to tell you what time it is. I have to be there. I probably live stream going to the doctor, because sometimes I use my cell phone like a dash cam. You know, people like to see, you know, this part of Indiana. I live in southern Indiana, the county of Clark, which I'm about 16 to 20 miles north of Louisville, Kentucky, if you follow I-65. You know, like I say, I'm 70 plus years old. I'm trying to help out other senior citizens to get them come to YouTube. Help them get started on YouTube. And some of you ask, why have I subscribed to your channel? It could be probably one of 3, one of 4, is I like your comment that you put in somebody's chat. Or I like your videos. Or you don't have that many subscribers. Or you've been on for a long time, over 4 years, maybe you got 2 or 3 subscribers. I'm trying to help you all build your YouTube channel up. That's what I'm trying to do. And if you got any ideas to help me improve my YouTube channel, I appreciate it. And so would anybody else out there that don't have 1,000 subscribers. Like, I watch Madam Mayor out of Otters Creek, Florida. She got 25,000 subscribers less than 30 days. She probably got her 4,000 watch hours. I don't know. And like I say, I'm trying to help everybody out. I don't know nothing about YouTube, streaming, or anything, but with you all people out there has helped me. Like TB, that's Triumphs Beware. He got me to use StreamYard. People, StreamYard's real easy. You type it into your search engine. It'll take you step by step how to set it up and stream. Okay, here's the bad part about StreamYard. If you do more than 20 hours a month streaming, you do not want the free version. So you might want to go to the paid version. Yearly is $15 a month, or monthly at the regular price is $19, and I believe it goes all the way up to $100 a month. Give or take a little, I'm not sure. You can invite people into your studio. If that wasn't for TB there, telling me about StreamYard, bringing people into my studio where other people in your chat can see what they look like, and some of you suggested that I do court TV stuff. I started out with the ex-sheriff Jamie Noe of Clark County, Indiana. You all might know who Jamie Noe is on the planet. If you ever watch 60 Days In, he's the one that started that, the first show of it, at the Clark County Jail in Jeffersonville, Indiana. The other night, maybe Friday night, I don't know, I was kind of sick Friday and Saturday because of my throat closing up on me. It's hard to breathe, drink any water, anything like that. My sugar's probably up a little bit. Because when they run that scope down your throat, you cannot take certain medicines. You can't eat anything after so-and-so time. I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you what I'll be going through tomorrow at a hospital in New Albany, there by IUS. It's out there by US. The IUS Southeast, I think, is where that hospital. It's run by the throat doctors, the specialists in it. They got their own hospital. And I can't take my Ozempic because that's a shot you take once a week. I couldn't take that. I can't take that until probably later on Tuesday night, I would say. Because I know they're going to knock you out, but what kind of drugs they give you, I don't know. They're going to knock me out cold as a cucumber. The last time I was knocked out like that, when I had all my teeth pulled. And I was flirting with all those women that there at the dentist's office. I guess you say I'm single, divorced, or whatever. I'm letting you ladies know it. Also, people, I talk about abused women. I look up it on the internet. If I've always been told, people, you hear it, you see it, you report it. If it's not women being abused, it could be children. So, I know you all said, I don't want to get involved. But what happens if that child or woman gets killed? Or the woman and her children gets killed? I want your fathers, uncles, and all that, cousin, and all that, check on your family, your daughters, your nieces, your aunts. You know how they act every time you see them. They could change a little bit. Go on the internet. Look for signs of abused women. You know what to look for. I know what I like to do to men that abuse women or kids. But if I say it, Popo or 5-0, the police will come knocking on my door and arrest me for terrorized threatening. But do report it. If you hear it, you see it, and hear it, please report it. And people live in Florida, Lake Wells, Florida. That's a pretty city. So is Australia. It's probably about 7 o'clock in the morning in Australia. I'm guessing. That's when it was yesterday about this time. But I'm just hoping it's not cancer. I had an ex-wife, my son's mother, passed away December the 6th of last year of cancer. But there's more to it, I think. But, I don't have the evidence that my brother's brother killed her by overdosing her, stealing her pain pills, this and that. That's only my opinion. Also, people, when you buy, pre-arrange, or pay for your funeral in advance, make sure you pay everything off before you pass away. Make sure you get everything in writing. That's one thing, make sure. And when you all have wills made out, don't trust anybody in your family. I've seen it. I went through it where my brother screwed me. Robert W. Cartwright, who retired from Ford Motor Company in Louisville, Kentucky. I can't fight him. And if you work like at Ford, GM, Chevy, Chrysler, them places, you all don't have to pay for your attorneys. I can't fight my brother. I got screwed. I even had a will. My brother had me arrested to get me out of the house. I was taking care of my mother. I was legal guardian. She signed a paper, and it was notarized, but not by the court. Maybe that's where I screwed up. I don't know. But that case against me and my brother was dismissed with prejudice because he was acting as a police officer. You know, he wasn't my landlord. I had all the bills in my name like my mother wanted. And till you make wills out, people, just think about it. Don't trust your family or kinfolk. Maybe you can have 2 or 3 lawyers in that will to be the administrator. They have to follow the law. Your family don't. Your family put the shaft to you. I know a whole lot of people that the family got the shaft put to them. I'm one of probably 1,000 or more on the planet. Also, when you do your pre-burial and pay for everything, you get the tombstone. Pick out your tombstone. They cut your date in it when you was born, but also get it in writing. The day you or your spouse dies, that's included into it. Which my father and mother, they got theirs in the 60s, and it was included. And Grayson's Funeral Home in Charlestown, Indiana, and New Washington, Indiana, charged my brother $150 to cut the date in it when my mom died. I got the shaft. Then they charged $1,000 more for the funeral when it was all paid up. So I want you all double check your paperwork. Double check it. The prices increase. What your family has to pay after you pass away and it's paid off, do you have to pay extra money? Check into it wherever you are on the planet. I know different countries got different rules. I'm just talking about here in the USA. So think about it, people. Check into that. And be wary of leaf-filtered gutters, especially if you're a senior citizen. Especially, they took advantage of me. They was from Louisville, Kentucky. And be wary of leaf filters. Check into it. There's other kind of leaf filter you get. One, it's made out of metal. It got little tiny holes in it. And it's probably a whole lot cheaper. My house is about probably 600 square feet. It's equal to probably a tiny house. I live out in the country. I got cats. And I'm going to throw in my post office box. It's Tom Cartwright, 4375 at Post Office Box 1, Charlestown, Indiana, zip code 47111. If you all want to send me anything from your state or from my kitty cats, donations, but I got a Cash App. If you all know how to do the Cash App, it's the $. Tom Cartwright, 4375 is my Cash App if you want to send donations that way. So I want to thank you all. But also make sure you check on your neighbors. If they're old or handicapped or disabled, check on your neighbors. If you live right next door to them, see if you can get emergency contact information for that person that might have a key in case the door is locked. You know, when the fire department or police arrives, you know, they can't get in touch, they might break a door or a window. So just, you know, help your neighbors out. Check on them. I know it's hard when it snows on the ground or the temperature is cold. Keep an eye on your neighbors. And like you people in Lake Wells, Florida, her name is Noreen Snyder. She's an older lady. She reads poetry. I don't know if you all like poetry or not, but I'm asking your people on YouTube, go to Noreen Snyder's YouTube page. Subscribe to her YouTube channel. Give her the thumbs up. You don't have to like poetry. You know, I say she might be older than me. I'm not sure. I'm 70 plus years old. If you live in Lake Wells, Florida, stop by there and see if she needs to go to the grocery store, post office, church, doctor, and all that. She lost her husband, I think she told me three years ago, I think. And she's a widow. So check in on her. And you people, check on your neighbors. Check on the senior citizens. See if they need anything. I told you all to check on your daughters, your cousin, your nieces. And you know how they've been acting when they come over to visit you. If their attitude change. Or does their mate come over with them like she's afraid? Go online and look for abused women's signs, and it'll tell you what to look for. So, you know, it'll help everybody out. You all asked me, why do I subscribe to your channel? That's what this person asked me in Australia. And if you all remember Australia, that's where, what's his name, Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter. I watched a few of those videos last night. One, I think, where they gave him a memorial service. I think that's probably 10 years old. And I saw one where his son gonna leave the zoo. I don't know if his dad would want that to happen, but when you get in love and get married and have kids, I guess that'd change your attitude. But he wouldn't got where he was, not even the son or daughter, if it wasn't for dad and mom. Australia is a nice place. I looked at this young lady in Australia. I looked at her videos. And the reason I subscribe to you all's channel, it's either your comments you put in somebody's YouTube channel or mine. 2, because you don't have that many subscribers, or it's your videos. That's why I subscribe to your all's channel. 1 of 3, there might be more. Your comments, I love very much. The only way I can say thank you by subscribing to your channel, and you turn around and subscribe to my channel. You old-time YouTubers. That's one that's been on YouTube for a long time, got over 10,000 subscribers. You all know how it was when you first started out in YouTube. You didn't have that many subscribers. You want to give up. And there's times that I want to give up. But thanks to you all sweet people on YouTube, you told me what you wanted. You told me you want me to do court cases. You all wanted me to do about the ex-sheriff Jamie Knoll and his 25 charges. You know, I've done things that you all have asked me to do. I talk about the DUI guy. He's out of Louisville, Kentucky. He explains everything in details for people like me. It's not too smart or slow up here. I have watched the U.S. Supreme Court. I know some of you don't like him on Trump. Those judges explain everything that somebody like me that can understand that. I love judges that does stuff like that. I like lawyers that can put it in my terms where I can understand it. Okay, parents, if you got children in school, elementary, junior high, high school, if they make straight A's, have him help out the kids that's in their class that don't make very good grades. Because one day, that child, boy or girl, would never forget that by helping them pass their grades and helping them bring their grades up. You know, you all was a kid once. Could you understand the teacher knowing he or she's older than you and can't really explain it that good? But as a child, he or she could explain it to another child the same age, same class, that can explain it where they can understand it. So ask your kids if they would do that, because that child or children they have help will be a VIP, a very important person sometime down the road. They never will forget it. I never forgot the boy and the girl that helped me when I was in school. I probably wouldn't made it out of high school. But I thank them to this day for helping me. You know, 'cause they was my age group, you know, same class, or maybe a year ahead of me in school. They helped me up. They didn't have to, but they did. I've never forgot that. God rewards people who has been good. If you don't believe in God, it's okay. You won't make me mad. Because every country is different. So, but make sure, I want to make sure you all report. You hear it, you see it, you report it. That's all I ask you all to do. I've also asked you to subscribe, give me the thumbs up. I talked about StreamYard. They got the free version or the paid versions to help you out. If you want to learn more about StreamYard, watch like the expert or the umbrella guy, Megan Fox the writer, or MG Law. There's a whole lot of other people that use StreamYard. That's some of the ones I've watched. So I hope I help you out. You know, they try to say, do it at different times. Sometimes I do it at 8 o'clock at night, but I've read on YouTube, best time is 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's okay if you live in the United States. But if you live in Australia, places like that, it's about 7 o'clock in the morning. You got to take that into account. So anybody who watched my YouTube channel, if you give me any ideas on subjects to talk about or, stuff like that, I would appreciate it. You would get rewarded in the long run. I'll forget this one channel. I forget what her name is. Maybe Lucy something. Before she starts her video, she got something up on the screen about the copyright laws. I asked her to send it to me today. I checked my email this morning. And I've sent it back to her and explained everything. What I'm trying to do, how new I am. I'm not that smart. I appreciate your people out there that helps other YouTubes. My YouTube channel, I try to keep everything PG. No cussing if you're in my studio. People say, why is it? I explained something to you, I'm going to explain it again. I try to do it in all of my videos. People, you got children that's watching your YouTube channel with their parent or guardian. So just remember that. I done a little short video, I guess last night, of Michael Kaiser, who killed a United States Marine veteran. He lives, I think, in Alabama. You see, he had a seizure. Some says it's fake, but it wasn't 30 minutes. He got back on his live stream, but he made it private. He was texting some people, threatening them, and this. I don't like hate groups, people. God don't want you to hate people. He don't like you if you're a different color skin. People, here's what I believe in my heart. We might be different colors, a different religion, but we all bleed red. All blood is red in all people. No matter what race you are, remember that. We all bleed red. Even our dogs and cats and your pets that you got in your house, they got red blood just like you and me. Pigs, cows, they all bleed red, so we are the same. There's some people out there that don't like us because we have a mixed marriage, or we Jews, or stuff like that. That don't matter to me. That's not how I was raised by my parents. We was raised to love one another. It's your right to be a hate group. But as a hate group, the FBI is watching you. Like, I'm just going to say one letter, the letter K. You can fill in the blanks after that. The FBI got you all's picture. Anybody who's with you, they got your picture. They got your address. It's not time to hate people. It's time to love, not make war. So it's 4:48 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got to feed my cats, but I got to walk to the mailbox. I want you all to pray for me since I got to go to the hospital. It's not cancer. Get bigger, stuff like that. I make sure I tell the doctor before they knock me out as cold as a cucumber. Say, make sure you spread it open. Make it bigger. If you got any ideas to help me out on my YouTube channel, I try to keep everything PG. Some of you that's watching this live stream on Karen Reed think she's guilty. But I'm all asking you all to use common sense judgment. As you all been watching the Karen Reed story from day one, where is O'Keefe's shoe? He didn't have a shoe. They didn't find the shoe in the yard. They didn't find it next to the curb. The men, you know, guy, like I say, I'm not a lawyer, but some of the things he says I've been saying from day one. I might do it, like I say, I told you I'd do a live stream going to the hospital, and I'm going to be goofy when I come out of the hospital, which my son has to drive, because you can't drive. If you did, they'd get you for DWI. So I don't want to take a chance on that. They won't let you drive. They make the person driving sign some paperwork that you won't drive. So I want to thank you all. I'm going to walk to the mailbox. Maybe I can show you a part of the outside, or I can show you my outside kitty cats. And I know some of you on here does watch What the Hells in your people. U.S. mail. I gotta be careful. So, this is John Wayne. There's Tiger. There's Rooster. I guess Timothy McGee. Oh, there's Timothy McGee. See, that's Timothy McGee. He's a dumb kitty cat. You know. Hi, Tiger. Hi, baby. See, you can learn more by being up here with Tiger or John Wayne. Because every time we come in the kitchen, you don't have to jump down. Because Tiger, John Wayne, and Rooster, they don't jump down every time we come in. If we get hurt, who's going to feed you? Just think about that, Timothy McGee. You're a very lovable tomcat, but you have to learn the rules. You've been here almost a year in this house. Oh. There's LB, there's January. See, oh. What? Come on, move, babies. There's LB's baby. She got 5 of them. What? Come here. You're on the wrong side of the porch. There's Midnight. Take care of your cousin, Midnight. There's some cute babies. I think half of them boys and the other half is girls. Come on, move, 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 move. Hi, babies. I got to bring a washcloth out here, wash this one's eyes. Yeah, I got to wash his. Hi, baby. Come on, back up. Come on, back up, back up, back up. Ouch. Man, them kitty cats got sharp claws. Yeah. I gotta watch where I'm going. Here comes Chester. He's limping. I've looked all over his paws. There's Gina, my cat. She lost all of her babies. She helped take care of LB's babies. You know, they got to be over a year old before they can have babies. She lost every one of her babies. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Go on. Go on. Uncle Tommy's out here. He got some treats for you. You all got to see my cat. So, I'm going to walk to the mailbox. You all have a great day. I love you all. I want to say bye.